Welcome to Massachusetts Historical Swordsmanship's Classical Bâton training course. This is the first video, Basic Drills. Baton is an excellent introductory weapon. It builds strength, coordination, and relaxation. It teaches fundamental fencing principles. It is fairly safe and inexpensive to practice, and it's excellent preparation for any weapon. Proper equipment is key to safe practice. We're using rattan sticks from Purple Heart Armory. Coppice chestnut wood staves, such as used in France, are somewhat more difficult to get, but are traditional. In either case, the standard length is 140 centimeters. Note that in our school, we wear white jackets and black or white pants. Also note that if you have external genitalia, you must wear groin protection. We also have all students wear chest plates regardless of gender identity. Let's look at a variety of equipment worn on different bodies. Connor is wearing longsword gear, including a jacket, underarm plastron, chest protector, and neck protector. His mask is a cover for additional safety. However, his longsword gauntlets, while certainly safe, are a bit too bulky for stick. He is wearing modern fencing pants, which are fine for stick. However, he doesn't have hard elbow, knee, or shin protection, which means he'll be limited to doing drills. Audrey is wearing modern fencing equipment, including a jacket, underarm plastron, and a chest protector, with the addition of a neck protector, padded HEMA pants, and padded gloves. This is sufficient for stick, though the cuissard or strap on her jacket will limit her mobility. However, her mask doesn't have back of the head protection, and she doesn't have hard elbow, knee, or shin protection, meaning she'll also be limited to drills. Jenna is wearing HEMA longsword gear, including a jacket, underarm plastron, chest protector, padded pants, and neck protector. Her mask is back of the head protection. Her padded gloves are fine for stick, but she doesn't have hard elbow, knee, or shin protection, so she'll also be limited to drills. Finally, Brian is wearing modern fencing equipment, including a jacket, underarm plastron, knickers, and chest protector, with the addition of a neck protector, padded gloves, and back of the head protection on his mask. He's also wearing a shock-absorbing head cover. He also has hard elbow, knee, and shin protection. Thus, even though the cuissard on his jacket will limit his mobility, this is sufficient for fencing with the baton. For a tournament, however, he'll want to wear a heavier jacket. Baton uses a savate salute. Hold the stick in the middle, touch the fist to the heart, and open. Basic stance, as shown here in Amélie André's treatise of 1910, is much the same as fencing stance with the stick held to the inside. Baton has several parry positions which correspond to saber guards. Inside hanging, with the wrists crossed, corresponding to first. Outside hanging, corresponding to seventh. Right head guard, which is fifth. Left head guard, which is sixth. Inside guard, which is fourth, and outside guard, which is third. As we shall see, no parry is static, they are simply moments in the moulinets. In baton, the stick must be kept in constant motion. This is taught by the exercise of the moulinets. The light practice stick simulates a weapon weighted at one end, such as a discharged musket or a boat oar. The same system is used for la canne. This is an antique walking stick of the sort described by Pierre Vigny with a heavy brass head. A blow accelerated by full moulinet is quite effective for self-defense. The first moulinet is the descending moulinet, or in French, the brisé or breaker. The stick is held with the hands together about a handspan from the end, or the heel, with the leading hand on top. Watch my hands carefully. It's very important not to grip the stick too tightly. Rather, the hands open and close with the leading hand acting as a guide and fulcrum. Note that the offhand crosses underneath the lead for the moulinets on the off side. The moulinets must be big, round, and loose. Here Brian will demonstrate the descending moulinet. The second moulinet is the helicopter, or in French, the virée. You can get there from the descending moulinet by simply raising the stick over your head. Note that the heel of the baton will pass underneath your offhand. It goes in either direction. The final moulinet is the ascending or the enlevé. It can be achieved from the helicopter by simply taking that circle and putting it on one side or the other. The stick will go back past your shoulder and up in front of your face. By dropping the circle on the other side, you can transition from the helicopter into the descending moulinet. In this way, you can smoothly transfer between all three moulinets. There are also two chambering positions to your left and right ear, similar to the longsword poste de fenestra or ox. Brian is demonstrating them here from both sides and from the front. These are achieved smoothly from a moulinet. Here, Brian is smoothly going from the ascending moulinet across his body and to the opposite ear to chamber the stick. To strike most effectively from chamber, you're going to want the tip of the stick to accelerate as much as possible. Raise the stick vertically and then have it travel on a big circle while extending your arms towards the target. Here, Brian shows the strike from the helicopter moulinet. If you're simply going around your head, you can strike easily in that direction. If you want to strike the opposite way, it's going to require chambering. Here, Brian shows the same thing with a passing step and from the other side. The pass is only ever used with attacks from the offside, but attacks with the lunge or with the advance may be used with attacks from either from the onside or the offside. Footwork is similar to classical fencing footwork otherwise. Here Brian shows the advance and the retreat. This pre-footwork exercise can be very useful in learning how to make advances in a coordinated and smooth fashion. Brian moves his feet forwards and backwards, keeping his center still, and then transforms that into the advance and the retreat. The passing step is simply a pivot to change leads in place, making sure to rotate around one center without any up and down movement. The crossover is a big movement, but can be used to rapidly give or to take ground. Make sure to keep the same facing when moving in a crossover. Half of a crossover is a slip of the leg, which is a very, very useful technique if one is being attacked to one's low target, especially when combined with a simultaneous counterattack. When stepping to the left or to the right, one leads with the foot on that side, with the right foot if stepping right, and with the left foot if stepping left. The same rule holds true if advancing or retreating to the right or to the left. Here Brian moves his right foot and the left to advance, and then his left foot and then the right to retreat. Here he moves his left foot and then the right to advance to his left, and then his right foot and then his left foot to retreat back to place. Once you've learned how to step right and left, you can easily apply these principles to circular footwork, moving both to the right and to the left while continuing to point your lead foot at your partner or adversary. The lunge is a fundamental attacking movement in baton. Here Brian demonstrates with a bayonet-like thrust, though note that we don't thrust in friendly play. The arms extend to target, the front foot kicks, and the rear foot pushes against the floor. Note that it is obligatory to lunge when attacking the low target, which is the shin in baton. Here Brian demonstrates attacking the shin from a variety of moulinets. Always return to guard and resume your moulinets after striking. Once we've learned the fundamental movements, we can begin partner work. Always salute your partner before and after every exercise or bouting. Here Brian and I demonstrate the savate salute with the stick, and come on guard and put on our masks. In this first drill, Brian's going to practice striking with control and accuracy. First, he can simply go straight down from a descending moulinet. To strike from the right, he drops his stick to his left, and to strike from his left, he drops his stick on the right. Note that I'm giving very clear targets with my stick. The aim is for Brian not to cross my body. To cue for a strike from his right, I hold the stick on my left side. To cue from a strike from his left, I hold the stick on my right side. We can vary the footwork. Before, I was asking Brian to strike with an advance. Here, I'm asking him to strike with a short lunge. He can also strike with pass with that offside strike. It is critical that the stick always precedes the foot. Brian does not begin his lunge until the stick passes the medial plane of his body. Now Brian will show how you can attack from an ascending moulinet. The target is under the chin or to the ribs. Here, he will pull the stick across his body to the opposite ear chamber in order to strike level with the temple. The strikes with the helicopter. First, in his direction of travel, he simply strikes out. And from the right. And here he's going to use his chambering position to change direction of the strike. Note the variations in footwork. Very importantly, to strike vertically from the helicopter, he drops his stick through a half figure eight on either the inside or the outside. And of course, the low target must be hit obligatorily with a lunge. Naturally, this can be done with any moulinet. From here, you can add footwork to the same drill to make it more difficult for the student, stopping to give the cue. To practice making compound or renewed attacks, now I'll change targets as Brian strikes. Note that Brian's initial movement should be only about medium speed, and I move back as he comes in with that attack. Obviously there are too many possible variations for us to show all of them, but you can get some ideas from what we're showing here. Note that for Brian to do this, it's very important that he not go too fast on that initial attack, or he's just going to frustrate himself. Fluidity comes from practice, not from rushing. Also be sure to strike from all your moulinets and make all the possible strikes systematically. From there, you can progress into some random actions. True skill comes with being able to do things fluidly and without overthinking them. It's good to occasionally check to make sure that the student is being sincere in that first strike by not changing and stepping back. From here, as with the first targeting drill, you can add footwork. Thank you. This series will be continued with video 2, which will introduce two-person mechanical drills.